in conservation. Introduction. Biodiversity is essential for ecosystem stability, climate regulation, and human well-being. Conservation is meant to protect ecosystems, but effectiveness varies. My research investigates what works, what doesn't, and what this means for future strategies. Evidence 1. Mixed results. Analyst Vera found that many local conservation interventions only produce modest or short-term improvements in biodiversity. Their review showed that many biodiversity responses vary widely across ecosystems and species groups. Some conservation efforts result in minimal or inconsistent changes to biodiversity. The study also identified research limitations, including small sample sizes and short monitoring periods. Evidence to interacting threats. Oyerback discovered that ecological threats such as fire, invasive predators, and grazing interact in complex ways. Their research showed that managing these threats separately can produce misleading results. Combined threats often change conservation outcomes compared to managing each threat alone. Their findings indicate that conservation strategies must account for multiple interacting factors. Evidence 3. Global side effects of conservation. Conservation efforts in wealthy countries can unintentionally shift environmental impacts to more biodiverse regions. When restored, land reduces local production. Countries often import more food and timber from elsewhere. These imports typically come from regions with weaker environmental protections. This shift can lead to additional habitat loss and undermine global biodiversity goals. Counter-argument: positive role of fire. Some ecosystems are naturally adapted to periodic fire and rely on it to maintain ecological health. When fires occur at natural frequencies, they can stimulate regulation and support certain species. Fire management practices help reduce fuel loads and prevent large destructive fires. These examples show that not all fire events threaten biodiversity and that controlled burning can be beneficial. Global support for conservation. A multinational study found strong public support for biodiversity across different countries. Many participants believe that protecting ecosystem preserves long-term environmental stability. People value biodiversity for ethical, culture, aesthetic, and spiritual reasons. These perspectives show that conservation is strengthened when it reflects human values. Campuses at biodiversity refuges. Research shows that college campuses can serve as important refuges for native species. Universities can restore native plant communities to support local biodiversity. Campuses that reduce pesticide use and add natural features help pollinators and small wildlife. These areas also function as living laboratories where students can observe ecosystem processes. Pros and cons of conservation. Conservation helps protect ecosystems that provide essential services like clean air, fresh water, and climate regulation. It preserves species and habitats that contribute to long-term ecological stability and resilience. Conservation supports human well-being by providing resources, recreation, and cultural value. Economic opportunities can arise from conservation through ecotourism, sustainable development, and biodiversity credits. Cons/limitations. Some conservation interventions produce only modest or short-term improvements. Poorly planned efforts can shift environmental harm to regions with weaker protections. Managing threats individually may be ineffective because ecological problems often interact. Conservation may reduce local resource production, creating economic or social challenges. Efforts can fail if local ecological conditions, human needs, or cultural values are not considered. Biodiversity credits. Biodiversity credits are designed to link economic incentive with ecological protection. These credits require measurable improvements in species recovery and ecosystem functions. Their framework includes monitoring and assessments to ensure real ecological gains. The system encourages long-term stewardship and reduces superficial conservation claims. Biodiversity supports human life. Biodiversity plays a key role in regulating climate and storing carbon. Healthy ecosystems prevent erosion, reducing flooding, and protecting against severe storms. Biodiversity supports food security through pollination, soil formation, and nutrient cycling. Diverse ecosystems are more resilient to diseases, climate change, and environmental disturbances. Final conclusion. After reviewing the research, I concluded that biodiversity is essential for both ecological and human well-being. Effective conservation must be adapted to specific local conditions and ecological contexts. Conversion efforts must also consider global consequences to avoid shifting environmental harm elsewhere. Overall, protecting biodiversity means protecting the systems that support human life now and in the future. And that is all. Thank you for listening.